Hey guys, Smith City here for Smith City Product Reviews. This is uncharted territory. Hope you guys stay to the end here. I'm doing a service review of a professional, online professional that I saw named Andrew Pearce. He's a business stress and performance mentor, and he has a few different courses that he runs online. I started liking a few of his comments and posts that he was posting in his individual feed on Facebook, and he reached out to me, obviously because I was engaging with his content, and he pushed me towards his Infinite Calm 5-day workshop, and that was absolutely amazing. I was going through a lot of stuff just at that point in time, trying to get my business off the ground. The whole COVID situation and people maybe struggling and me starting to push in the right direction. I started to feel guilty that I was starting to progress when other people were struggling. So that Infinite Calm 5 days was absolutely fantastic, and I recommend all of you guys that are watching this either now or in the future to check that out. I'll put the link in the description, and any other relevant links I'll put in the description as well. And then, so that was amazing. Obviously, in that group, I shared a lot of trauma that I'd previously gone through to complete strangers, but Andrew created a very safe and welcoming and validating experience that I felt comfortable enough to be able to share those experiences, and it was truly something special for me to be able to do. And so I really, really respect and thank Andrew for providing that experience. And then within the 5 days, I knew that whatever his paid program was, I was going to have to do it. I knew I had to. I knew I wanted to. So I really wanted to put the time and effort into myself to jump on board. And so I just decided that enough was enough and that I was going to do it. And in that Infinite Flow program, it's to do with shadow work. If none of you know what shadow work is, I'd recommend you have a look at what it is, and have a look at Andrew Pearce's content, because whilst I'm in the wellness and well-being and health sector as a PT and wellness coach myself, I understand the very big importance of people like Andrew, for people in general to just be able to, for them to jump into programs such as that to help people's wellness, and also in the process of unpacking trauma that impacts people from where they were, but also existing trauma as well. So I've got my little notebook here, and for anyone that knows me and people that study with me in youth work, I just had an A4 book, just sheets. I'm a more of an audio learner than a visual learner than like jotting something down. But I decided that I was going to do something different here and write stuff down. And so I'm going to share some things with you whilst keeping the respect of Andrew's course stuff to a minimal, just so I'm not giving away all his information where, you know, I'm sort of ruining his service. So I sort of want to respect Andrew in that respect, because he deserves people to jump on his course and for him to make a living out of it. So just as much as I do with a lot of my free content that I give away for my PT and well-being stuff, is I also deserve to get paid for the stuff that I do. So I'm just going to crack open a can, guys, and then I'm going to start talking about some of the stuff I've written down in my notebook. So, massive carbonation going on there, no head. So on the first page, this was part of his flow program, is we talked about the 4 archetypes of survival. And so one side is the one archetype is the prostitute, and the other side is the lover. And so there's different categories within those subheadings and what each of those roles of a shadow does that play for us in life. And then you go down to saboteur and little bits in there. I don't know, I can't see. I'm not going to say too much because obviously I don't want to give away Andrew's stuff. And on the other side of saboteur is magician. I know what I know and it's happening. That's what I wrote there. And then you've got the victim and the warrior. And sort of, I resonated with the victim because I've been through lots of traumatic stuff growing up, through abuse, and also my last job I had, I became suicidal and depressed, and I was playing the victim. I felt I was a burden on everybody, but also a burden to myself. And luckily I got out of that. But I was definitely running a lot of victim shadows, and there was obviously reasons as to why I was playing that shadow quite heavily. And then you've got the child and the sovereign. So they're my quick notes. Then we had a Zoom meeting and we talked about codependency. I've written down just a few notes here. Arrogant, and then I've written boundary setter. It's okay to look after me and me alone. Confidence, get what I want and what I deserve. So that was really good to unpack there. And then I've got written down here at the bottom, just because other people are a certain way within these labels, from their own perspective, doesn't mean that's who I'll become or be. And it's quite important to understand that, because I have clients who are losing weight, and obviously taking visual representation of them changing and progression over time is they may have an attachment towards other people just constantly taking selfies and like being all like self-absorbed, and so that person may have judged heaps of people taking photos, and just the thought of them taking a photo of themselves outside of the fact that they think that they look overweight or ugly or this, that and the other, is they've created a label for a certain situation that they don't want to be. So I'm glad I wrote that down from their own perspective. So I'm going to flip over again. I've also written here, between managing physicality of work, the mental exhaustion of my last week, I'm doing a great job, even if it doesn't feel like it. People may think I'm strong, but whilst everyone around me crumbles, I don't ever feel like I can express any hurt or any negative emotions. And even when I do, no one listens anyway. Just emotional take. But as you can see in that last line, that's me playing the victim, big time. Why do I need people to listen? Why do I'm wanting to get that attachment to feel validated? But why do I need to choose to be the victim? I just don't. There, I've got some exercises and stuff I did for an online program. So I wrote a new shadow. So he has a very good way of structuring his courses, and really sort of just focusing on one sort of thing that's going on for you, and allowing you time and space to be able to unpack all of that in a way that feels safe and in a way that feels right for you. So question one, what I want to prove to the world. I've written, I'm smart, knowledgeable and confident within my career. And so the question two is the exact opposite of that, which I've written, ignorant, ill-informed, stupid, fearful and insecure. And then three, what does those words represent in a label. I wrote a dumb fraud, so I don't want to be a dumb fraud. And then something that's very cool is I'm not a very materialistic thing. I grew up in a household where I was the one of three. We weren't well off by any means, and so I'm not very materialistic. Also, I was probably allowing the fact that maybe I didn't feel worthy of success, so I was allowing that to dictate me not buying a MacBook. So I've written there, buy the effing MacBook, which eventually I did, and I'm right now, before this video, I'm constructing my own online course, and I can't wait to get that started. I tried to launch my second course and it fizzled out. I don't have enough followers. I don't have a strong email list, and so I remarketed it a lot better than my first one. But in terms of hitting a target audience and it being exposed to my target audience, it didn't quite fit the mark. So I've gone and sought out more help quickly this time, which I'll do a service review on Amie from Rebel Nutrition. I'll put her stuff in the description as well. And so I've written here, Zoom call, 6 core needs. If I can read my writing: personality, certainty, uncertainty, significance, and connection. Always met healthily or in an healthy way. So that's really good to know, is that these core needs always met either healthily or in an unhealthy way. So I'm going to keep flipping over, guys. He's got a few other bits and pieces going on at the moment. I know he's delivering a presence program at the moment and a few other bits and pieces. Obviously, I haven't been part of them. But no doubt they're fantastic. So any other future links, any other links that he's got now for stuff that he's doing right now, I'll put in there. But also over time, I'll happily update the description in the description box of anything else that he's doing new, because anything that he's doing is absolutely fire. So so then looking at my other notes, that I'm a leader, I know I know my profession and that I'm good at what I do. Then the opposite to that is being a dumb, incompetent fraud. Stalling, question 3, stalling, procrastinating, putting up walls or barriers so I can't be even remotely exposed. Question 4, hustle, struggle, creating chaos and stress to appear I'm working hard to others, always want to be seen as busy and not be seen as lazy or a dumb, incompetent fraud. Question 5 answer, stress, overwhelm, anger towards myself, anxiety. Question 6, control an excuse if I do get exposed. See, I knew it. Strangely, comfort, because this is the perceived safer, or I can't read my own writing there, perceived safer option when it's the exact opposite. So he obviously understands human behavior and how we operate as humans, and I'm very good at doing that with other people, but over a period of time I've neglected my own self-care, and so was actually really refreshing and quite an enjoyable experience. It obviously brought up a lot of stuff, and it did create a lot of tension and stress and anxiety, like initially, and like all of those were very heightened. But because I didn't resist any of them and push them down, and I just allowed them, as he says, allow them to come up to leave, I was able to get an escape from that. I was able to just let them wash away. So I've also written hierarchy, which to do with growing up, I think. Forgotten about, struggle, nothing was given, everything was earned. So I've collapsed that word, earned, waiting, never getting anything I wanted, always got inferior things compared to friends and siblings. I've never been materialistic, or a word I use often for others is a consumerist whore. Probably another reason it took me ages to buy a MacBook, or if not earned, not applicable, and I have to go without. And then I've got a few dot points here: left behind, that I shouldn't ever get anything or allowed to obtain anything via ease, that it's selfish and egotistical to want and need money. I don't want to be or appear to be better off than anyone, because obviously I've struggled a lot in life, and so I don't want other people to feel what I've felt. So that's just a few notes, guys, but I also did another call with him where I did a meditation, a healing meditation, which was quite good, which helped heal my inner child of some trauma that I'd gone through. And so that was really, really good. This is a long video, so if you made it this far, fantastic, but there's a lot to go through with this particular topic and this particular content. So I'm just working out how, I haven't really thought about how I'm going to rate this in individual things like I do with my beer reviews, but I think the service is top notch. Like, if you were rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, that the service and what it provides is a 10 out of 10. With Andrew as someone who delivers stuff through his programs and how he interacts with people, I'd probably give that a 10 out of 10 as well. That could have gone either way when I first started doing it, because obviously I grew up with his family, and I could have built up my own walls and fears and insecurities about giving him too much information and sort of having all of my trauma and shit exposed to people I know. But once I jumped in pretty deep straight away, and I did not look back. So he's taken away a lot of, well, I want to validate him as well, but then also on the flip side is that I was very compliant within his courses, and I very much did the work. But I really want to validate how well he is as a presenter and his content and everything that he does. It's absolutely amazing. But from my standpoint is that I could have allowed the fact that I know him and all my other stuff going on. I could have just put up walls and made that a really ugly experience for myself, and which then wouldn't have meant really, I may have then thought his content was this, that, or whatever, just sabotaging stuff. But then once you realize that, you're probably too embarrassed to ever go back and see him. And you see that a lot with people facilitating PTs or wellness coaches or psychologists or counselors or whatever the case, doctors, just general GPs and stuff like that, is that, once you realize that you were you were your own worst enemy and you were the actual issue, is you're too embarrassed and too proud to actually go back to something that you actually sabotaged yourself. So lastly, so I've given him 2 10s. I don't feel he's too pushy. And so he came to me about something that he was starting up, and it just wasn't for me. It wasn't because it was going to be bad. It's just I'm spending time to build my business now, not from stress, but build my business to where I'm earning what I deserve to earn. And obviously it's taken a lot longer than I would like because, you know, I'm working as a labourer 3 days a week and PTing 3 days a week, and then all the other stuff on trying to build that up. It is taking time, but I'm not necessarily stressed about that. It just is what it is. So I was quite happy to let him know that, you know, good luck with it and stuff, and he was happy with that, and probably just is going to allow me to just be and do my thing. And I have said that I will jump back on and do some of his stuff at a later date because there's so much value in it. I've lived a life where I've helped many people, and you know, it was so good to have someone in my corner for that 31 days, but also the 5 days prior for his free content stuff. It just felt so good to actually have someone in my corner and actually care, you know. And there are probably people out there, or people that are running services that are getting paid for it, that don't actually care, that are just doing it for the money. But Andrew's not one of those guys. Definitely not one of those guys. So what I was going to say before is, so he's created this awareness around certain things, and it's interesting. I said send him a voice message or a message a couple of months ago when I was in the car driving home, and just something took place. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something took place, and then I didn't add fuel to that fire. I just sort of stepped back from a third person and looked at it and started to like unpack it like I did in his course, and gained some massive awareness around the situation. And I'm just like, I just said to myself out loud, I had music going, I just said to myself out loud as I'm driving, that Andrew, he got me. He got me. So it's awesome that the stuff that he teaches, if you sort of delve in and grab it with both hands and really just do the self-work that you need to do, is that the stuff that he teaches definitely does sit there in the background, helping you in certain situations, you know, whether it be, you know, you're really, really tired and you're getting defensive towards friends and family, or they are, and then the way you respond in those moments. And so, yeah, look, it's a 10 out of 10 from me, from Andrew Pearce. And I suppose I just wanted to validate him as a person, but also as a content provider, because he definitely helps so many people, so many people. And I'm sure he's going to help many people in the future. And the fact that I did his course, and the fact that I was the one that put in the effort as well, you know, led me to buy the MacBook, which has now in turn led me to buy another course to help me launch on an online program of myself, which I'll put in the description in this link once I get it up and running. And it's now creating me to make a website. It's now creating a situation where I'm going to create my own online content, where I'm helping not just people in my selective area, but I'm going to be helping a broad audience. And when I've been someone that's always wanting to help people, and always wanting to help people unpack trauma and better their experiences just in life in general, Andrew has helped me in so many ways. So it's a 10 out of 10 from me, guys. If someone else has services out there that want to be reviewed, just hit me up and we'll see what we can do. Cheers.